we are going to be creating this shaker card tonight. Isn't that fun? And it's a pretty simple card to make. It uses the Bottled Happiness stamp set and coordinating vintage bottle punch. We will be using the effervescent elements, which are those little iridescent beads that will go in the bottle. We are also going to use the vintage bottle shaker domes, and these come in a package of 10. Very easy to use, coordinate perfectly with the punch. And so we'll just need one of those. Let's see, we will also be using the Pretty Prints Designer Series paper, although just a little bit of it. This comes in 4 different colors, some mid-greens, some purples, which this is probably mostly Blackberry Bliss, Calypso Coral with some Sweet Sorbet in it. Sweet Sorbet is one of the new in colors. And then we have like an Evening Evergreen base. So let's get started with creating our card. We are going to begin with a piece of basic white cardstock. This measures 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. I actually have 2 of them because one is going to be for the outside and one is for the inside. We will also be using these small strips. They are 1 inch by 3 1/4, and they're just going to go along the bottom of each of those basic white pieces. I'm going to bring in my Bottled Happiness set, and I'm going to be using the 2 large floral pieces. These are 2-step, they go together. And what I've done ahead of time, and I think you can see this if I put it against the cardstock, is I've given some black Sharpie lines, or I've marked some on my stamp. And that's going to tell me where the bottleneck is supposed to go. It just helps me line up my stamps when I'm getting ready to do that. Let's go ahead and put this on blocks. And the 2 colors I'm going to be using are Petal Pink, which coordinates with this card Designer Series paper. Calypso Coral does as well, and that was actually my original intention, but I just re-inked my Calypso Coral and it's a little too dark. I need to let the ink sit a little bit longer. So we're just going to go with Petal Pink and Sweet Sorbet, which is one of the new in colors. I'm going to stamp first. I think I like to stamp the darker color first. I'm going to do the leaves in Sweet Sorbet. I'm going to pull in one of these basic white pieces, and I can see now where my black Sharpie marks are. That's the area where my bottle is going to go. I'm going to put the rest of this pretty close to the top of my white layer. And so I have some nice bright colors there. Now I'm going to bring in my other stamp. I'm going to stamp over the top. And these little pieces right here fit the insides of the larger flower pieces. So that's how I'm able to line up my stamps. I got a really good image there. You can see, I think, that aside from the fact that I'm looking over and around a camera, things line up pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and take this piece of my Pretty Prints, put some adhesive on it, attach that down at the bottom. I'm going to bring in the vintage bottle punch. If you use it upside down, you can see where you're punching. And I am just trying to put that in the hole right there. Okay. I'm a little off to the side, but that's okay because I have a plan for that. I'm going to bring in this shaker dome. Now the shaker dome has adhesive on the top side and also on the bottom side. It's covered up right now with just the adhesive backing. You can peel that off pretty easily. If I just put this so that the dome is up, I'm gonna fit this right over onto my card. It fits right in there perfectly. I'm just gonna press right around it. And now I want a little adhesive up here too. I'm going to take a piece of sweet sorbet and put it around the back. Now I'm gonna remove this backing first. Oop, before I do that, I shouldn't have removed the backing. I should have put, that was a close one. I should have put my beads in first. I'm just gonna take a spoon and actually, I'm gonna put this in a bowl because these beads tend to wanna go lots of places they're not supposed to. I'm gonna very carefully pour this in here. And you can see why I should have taken the backing off before, because the beads wanna stick there and you don't want them to stick to that adhesive part. So you don't want to overfill, but when it looks like it's almost full, that's probably going to be what you want. Depends on how full you want your bottle to be. I'm gonna lay this piece over the top. This piece was cut about 1/4 inch smaller than the basic white, because I don't want it to show around that edge. Now I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna just make sure that's all nice and good. And you can see that it still shakes. I probably have a little bit too much in here, but it does still shake. So it's still a shaker card. And make sure your beads are nice and secure. You might even want to, like that really wasn't secure. So I just heard it pop and now it is. You might want to put it in the plastic bag that it comes in. So you could just put it right back in this plastic bag, but I'll save that to do later. All right, now I need to adhere this to my card base. I'm using a card base of sweet sorbet. And if I wanted to, I could stamp some of those flowers around the edge to give it a little bit more texture, or even use an embossing folder. We're just kind of making a quick and simple card here tonight though. I'm gonna take a piece of this old petal pink cotton ribbon that came with one of my bundles last catalog. Might as well use it up. Just gonna tie it a nice little bow. And play with the ends till I get it how I want it. I will trim off the ends here. Bring in my mini glue dots. Press my bow to a glue dot. And pick it up. Attach that right to the card there. Now what I need is, I need a little greeting up here. And I can actually put it here. You know how cards come in with the flowers when you're sent flowers? You can do that. I can do it off to this side to help balance it out a little bit. I could just stamp right here. In fact, I think that's what I'm gonna do, because I didn't actually get this centered as much as I had wanted to. See, when it's centered, this looks pretty nice up here, but I think I'm going to need to use this space down here to make it balance out appropriately. I'm gonna bring in my small block and get the sending cheer message out here. We'll mount that. I'm going to open my sweet sorbet again. Let's get some of this mess out of here. So I could have just taken this little piece So on those other cards, this measures 5/8 of an inch wide and 1/8 of an inch, or 1 inch long. Photopolymer stamps let me stamp nice and straight. So you see, I could just pop this up with a dimensional, and actually that doesn't look too bad. I think I'm still going to do that. It does look pretty good, so. But you could have also just stamped it right here on that piece of cardstock. So there we go, we have Sending Cheer. Now all we have to do is decorate the inside, and you can do that pretty easily just by using that same strip of designer series paper on the bottom of another piece of basic white. If you wanted to make this pop a little bit more, you could certainly add a layer of black to it. We're just gonna stay pretty simple here. And there is our shaker card.